Well, today we have as our guest just Jon Bouche. Hello, Jon. How you been, buddy? Haven't been seeing you in a while.
I am awesome. I'm staying busy.
Good. Well, anything new you want to share with us? Anything going on good in your life right now? Everything working out?
A lot going on in my life. Musically, though, just playing when I can play and doing what I can do.
All right. All right. Well, I have a list of questions here for you. I'd kind of like to go over them right quick. If there's something that you want to talk about, let's hear it. So the first question for you is how and when did you start in this business?
Well, I come across it honestly. My family owned music stores in New Orleans, so I've been in the music business my entire life. My earliest recollections are singing songs, standing there in my underwear while my dad's teaching guitar lessons. So ever since I can remember, that's what I've done.
Well, so my next question was what influenced you? It sounds like your family influenced you to be in this business.
Yeah, I had a brother 3 years older than me who's a amazing guitar player, and so I grew up too quick, if you know what I mean.
Right.
I was kind of an oddball in school. I was the only guy in my school to play all 5 sports and won a wrestling championships, quarterback, pitcher, and all stuff. And I'm also on the weekends singing in a rock band. I've been doing.
Right. I hear you. So in this industry, the hometown thing that we're discussing here, what's your contributions to this industry? What is it that you do in this business?
Well, I front the band Johnny and the Spinsations.
And a good job at that.
Well, thank you so much. And I try and work with club owners to build their business. I mean, I think we have a marketable product. If they have a nice venue, I try and help them with their sound or lights or presentation also. And I think it's a partnership, and we got to help each other out. So that's my contribution.
That's a good goal. So let's talk about collaboration. It's easy for you to say, right? Collaboration. What do you collaborate with other musicians, or is that something you're going to do, or where do you stand with collaboration?
I think it's amazing to collaborate with talented musicians. Man, I saw your stuff online. I really enjoyed it. I thought you were a very talented songwriter. I love your voice. So you're someone I definitely would like to collaborate with.
Well, thanks. I bet we can make something happen there. That's a pretty good deal, man. So, just kind of getting people's personal story, these questions have kind of been designed, who are you, but, what have you seen and done in your life, and what are some of the things you've experienced that you can share with other folks? How about give us biggest success or possibly even biggest failure? Whatever really stands out in your mind the most. What short story would you share with us?
One of the coolest things I ever got to do, biggest success, I mean, I've played in front of large crowds, like I told you before, I think 15,000, 10,000. One of the coolest things I ever got to do was I wasn't a huge Beatles fan. I just wasn't a big Beatles fan at one point. And then I got a call one day about a Beatles project that was going on, and they asked if I could help them with it because they had heard, quote unquote, I could sing anything. So I said, okay. So I started helping out with this, and then a few months later, I'm standing in front of the orchestra singing Yesterday with Ken Mansfield, the Beatles manager from North America, the head of Apple Records here, standing in front of me.
Wow.
Dan Wortman, the guy who runs Sugar Hill Studios, and they're standing there, and I finished with this, and it was just an amazing experience. When those cellos swell in behind you, the hair on the back of your neck stand up. I never thought I'd be doing that. And it was cool because my mom had flown in from New Orleans, and she was in the audience.
What a special moment.
It was amazing. And when I walked off stage, Dan Workman came over to me and Ken Mansfield, and Mansfield said, "What an amazing job." And Dan said, "Who are you, and why don't I know that?"
That's pretty cool, man. I like that.
That was crazy.
Especially in the Beatles world, right?
Yes, sir.
So how about the funniest, and it's your call, funniest or saddest story that you can tell us about being in this business, maybe something you've experienced?
Man, the saddest story, the one that hit me the hardest, I believe in the healing power of music. And years ago, me and a friend of mine, Patrick Waits, started an organization called Love Street Light Circus. And now it became Love Street Alliance. And we bring the healing power of music to Texas Children's Hospital and to the Shriners Hospital.
Bless your heart.
Play for the families and play for the kids. And one day we're going room to room on a Saturday, and walked in this room. This little girl's laying in bed, and she's all hooked up to hoses, and it was just really sad. And we asked if we could play music. The mom initially said no, because she looked like the weight of the world was on her.
Oh, man.
But the little girl, kept looking back and forth at her mom with her eyes because she wasn't really mobile. And the mom said, "Well, okay, y'all can play one song." So we played a song, and the little girl kind of started smiling. Then we started playing a little bit more, and the little girl stood up on the bed, and the mom's freaking out. And then we played another song. The little girl's jumping on the bed, laughing and singing, dancing, and the mom's bawling. And I look back, all the nurses are in the hallway bawling. Man, that just brought a tear to my eye, dude. It was just
golly,
amazing.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I'm with you about music is a healing thing, and
Yes, it is.
you can do a lot with music. So bless you guys for doing that. So in this industry, this hometown business or just music industry that we kind of live in, what upsets you kind of working in this industry? What are some things that bothers you a little bit? I mean, not to name anybody, one particular person or thing, but what kind of brings you to that point? Like, man.
Well, I think people understand the cost of everything and the value of nothing. I mean, I've seen some amazing musicians playing in empty houses, and I've seen some musicians that I didn't think were that great playing to full houses. Sometimes when you try to book a gig somewhere and the owner of the club says, "How much do you want?" You quote them a price. You go, "We can get somebody for half that." A little bit of
I think a lot of people probably do experience some of that out there right now.
free too, but you really do get what you pay for.
Well, that's a good one. I'm glad you brought that up. There's a question I have: pitfalls or advancement of organizations, and is there any particular organization? You just kind of mentioned one. What was the name of that again?
Love Street Alliance. It kind of went down during COVID. Obviously, all the restrictions, we couldn't go into the hospital. So hopefully, we'll get that fired up again. If you're interested, I'd love to get you involved with that.
You sign me up, buddy. I'll be there with you. All right.
Excellent.
I'll cry with you, and I'll hug your neck. That's not a problem.
Man, it can be emotional for sure.
Okay. Business or vendor interaction, do you do any recording or do you work with any publishing groups or management? Is that something you delve into, or is that something you're looking at, or what you think about all that?
I think you and I are going to talk about some of that eventually, but I have not been. No.
Okay. It's like eating that elephant, right? One bite at a time, because it can be a pretty big thing. And I know a lot of people want to, and I'm hoping that with some folks who can share some light, even for, you can learn about this stuff, but it seems like it changes overnight. So
yeah, the technology certainly changes overnight.
Fair enough. So let's talk about changes in the industry, and where do you see it going? What do you see or has possibly changed, and where do you think? You mentioned COVID there a minute ago, and I know that really changed some things up. But you see anything else?
Well, one of the biggest changes in the industry, as you know, has been the proliferation of all this online music over the years. Oh. I heard one of the big recording artists, I can't remember if it was a guy from the Eagles or somebody, that asked, "When are y'all going to record another album?" We said, "Never," because we record one thing and then we spend millions of dollars to produce it and get it out there, and then it gets uploaded and then we don't get paid for it. So point.
I think I heard Vince Gill.
Might have been Vince Gill.
Vince Gill was discussing that. I think I caught some of that too. And I mean, he's right. I mean, things have changed so much. So that kind of, what do you feel like needs to change about the industry? What do you think needs to happen? Do you have an idea about that?
Well, I think talent is talent no matter what. I think so much of the music is canned nowadays that people with very little talent can put something out that sounds pretty decent, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And my son was driving along in the car one day when he was younger, and he's listening to some stuff on his headphones, and I'm like, "What is that? You receiving a fax?" It sounded terrible, it was not good. But all this electronica stuff, I think, a lot of the dubstep, all these things these kids listen to now, is just so much different. I mean, I grew up listening to people actually who were able to sing, and I appreciate that more.
I've had a lot of people say things like, when is country music coming back? Maybe that's another story for another day, but there's definitely been a lot of changes, and I think people are ready to see. And I don't think that they have a problem with the way things are right now. I think that they're just ready for something else, You
had a couple of young girls come up to the stage one day. We were playing at one of these festivals, might have been the Strawberry Festival. They said, "Can y'all play something new and good?" I said, "Which one you want?" Because
you want new or good?
Because you can have either one. You can't have them both.
That's exactly right. So as a performer, and you're a good one. I've been to your show many times, my friend, and I appreciate what you do. As a performer, what do you think that you do that works best for you?
Well, I think I'm good at working a crowd. I think that's a key thing. Growing up in New Orleans, I remember there was TQ and the Top Cats, Vince Vance and the Valiants, and bands like that. That these guys weren't really very talented, but they knew how to work a crowd and put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you can work a crowd and put on a show, and you're able to sing, I think that's what we, why we have such longevity in this band.
And what do you feel like is the best tip for working in a crowd? What brings the crowd out from their seats or
I think the minds look. I think investing the time up front, going around saying hello to everybody. People
Yeah.
want to know who you are.
yeah.
Just eye contact, sincerity. What was the old joke? Be sincere even when you don't mean it. Just eye contact and having the mindset when you're on stage that you're part of this big party. You're not running the party. You're not taking all that burden on. You don't have that stress. It's
Just be there and have fun
Yeah.
and meet people and enjoy yourself.
your job is to drink your margarita and hang out with your friends. My job is to stand up here in front of the mic and make you laugh and enjoy the night.
Well, bless your heart. I tell you what, there's a lot of diamonds and wisdom in what you just said. So thank you for sharing that. What are your plans for the future? Where do you see yourself going with your music?
Well, I'm in a transition phase right now. I mean, I love being the front guy in the band. That's been fun for me for a long time. I started out as a drummer,
Okay.
and then I became a bass player. And but I've always been a singer. I mean, that's the thing I've always been able to do. And so I want to get to the place, Hank, where I can play an acoustic guitar and I can do a solo gig. That's on my list of things to do this year. I'll be able to do 30, 40 songs and be able to play guitar and not screw it up so bad that people get up and leave. So
Be who you are. That'll all work out, right? Well, great. And I wish you well in your plans for the future. I hope that works out for you. If you're a musician or performer, where will people see you next? Where can we see you next, or what's going on in the music world for you?
the next time we're playing on a public gig is on the 19th of this month at Pacific Yard House at 2 o'clock. There's no cover coming in. The food's great there, Pacific Yard House in Conroe. 2 o'clock, the 19th.
I don't have a calendar here. It's 19th. Is that going to be
Sunday?
It's a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're liable to see me there then.
Come on.
So I like their food too.
They're great food.
Okay. So describe your show for me, John. If people come see you, what are they going to see? What are they going to see John do, or what kind of show do you guys put on? Talk about that.
Well, the thing that's funny, years ago, for some strange reason, I started dressing in these crazy cut jackets. I got these sequin
You got
jackets.
some sparklies.
Yeah, I mean, you might see somebody go, "Hey, nice jacket. Who shot the drapes?" I look like a big fishing lure most of the time, but yeah. So you'll see that. You'll see 50s, 60s dance music primarily. We throw in a couple 70s songs. We learned some 80s music a while back just because somebody asked us to. So it's a variety band songs that you can sing along with, and I mean it's just a fun time.
A little walk down memory lane, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. That's cool. We need that. It seems like some of the memories are better than some of the stuff we're living through on some of these days. Well, that's another story. So how can folks find you or contact you, or if they want to book Johnny and the Spinsations and get you guys, how do they do that?
Well, www.thespinsations.com, thespinsations.com.
Okay.
You can check us out on YouTube, so you're not taking a pig at a poke. You'll know who we are, what we do. There's a lot of videos.
You do have a lot of YouTube videos.
Spinsations on there. You'll see a lot of that on there.
Well, I'll sure point them your direction. That's not a problem. So last question for you there, my friend, is what is your advice to anyone that wants to be in this industry?
Don't. No, my advice is, look, for me, it's always been about the music I love. I want to do the music I love and enjoy. And you're going to have to make a decision as a musician at some point. Are you going to do the music that's going to get you paid? Are you going to do the music that you love and enjoy? And the people that are most blessed in this industry that are so good at their art that they are able to do both.
They come together.
Yeah. But I do think there's going to be a point where, and I talked to Jeff Canada about this one time. He's a very talented singer-songwriter. He would do cover songs, but he wouldn't do them anything like the
Put his own
recordings. He put his own spin on them. And I was like, I think, Jeff, that when people hear you do a cover song, they do it as a way to gauge how good you are, when compared to the other one. And he said, I disagree. They do it, they like the spin that we put on it to see how artistic we can be in creating it. So we never actually agreed on that, but he's doing very well in the industry. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, Jeff, you're probably right.
He found a niche.
You're
right.
Found a niche. And he's awesome.
Well, listen, John, I want to thank you for being with me today and coming to the show and telling your story. That's what we really want to do here. And I want to wish you good luck in the future, with all your plans. And I hope that everybody around you understands how blessed they are to have you in their life. So,
oh, man, thanks.
Thank you for doing what you do and being here for us. And as always, I want to leave some positive affirmations. I feel like that everything we do, as long as we can find the positive in it, we can find a way to be better. Positive affirmations is possibilities are endless. Your thoughts become your reality, and don't worry about the things that you can't control. And most of all, God bless you. And so until the next podcast, with John and I are going to get out of here, probably spend a little time talking about guitars. But we thank everybody for being here today, and we sure hope that you'll help us out with these videos. Subscribe, hit that notification, because we are going to be hitting these podcasts a lot more frequently. And, give us a like. This is about helping out the individual artists and people that are not just artists, musicians and business owners. And, like I've said before, we're going to have them all in here. So if you guys can take these videos and share them with your folks or your friends that are in the business and show them what we're doing, I'll be glad to sign them up and get them here. It's relatively painless, I think.
It is. God bless you for doing this. This is an amazing
Thank you.
outlet. Thank you.
All right. Well, John, friend, for being here, thank you so much.